One spin, one moment, millions of dollars. Today we're counting down the 5 biggest slot machine wins in history. Let's get started. Number 5. $22.6 million. Bally's Casino, Las Vegas. Our countdown starts with a story that proves you're never too old to hit it big. Meet Johanna Wendel, a 74-year-old retired bakery worker from California who turned a simple breakfast trip into a life-changing moment. In March 2002, Johanna was visiting Bally's Casino on the famous Las Vegas Strip. She had worked her whole life in a bakery, and now, in retirement, she was enjoying a casual trip to Vegas. That morning, she was actually just heading to breakfast when something caught her eye: a Megabucks slot machine that just looked lucky. Now, let's talk about Megabucks for a moment. This isn't your average slot machine. Created by International Game Technology, or IGT, back in 1986, Megabucks was the world's first wide-area progressive jackpot system. What does that mean? Well, every Megabucks machine across Nevada is connected to the same jackpot pool. Every time someone anywhere in the state plays, a portion of their bet feeds into one massive jackpot that keeps growing until someone wins it. The game itself is deceptively simple. 3 reels, 1 pay line, and you need to bet the maximum of $3 to qualify for the jackpot. Line up 3 Megabucks symbols on that pay line, and you win the entire progressive jackpot. Johanna sat down at what she thought was a lucky machine and started playing. After just 10 minutes and about $170 in bets, the impossible happened. 3 Megabucks symbols lined up perfectly. But here's where the story gets even better. When those symbols hit, Johanna thought she had won $2 million. Can you imagine? She's already thinking about how amazing that is when casino staff comes over to give her the real news. It wasn't $2 million. It was $22.6 million. Like most Megabucks winners, Johanna chose the annuity payment option, receiving her winnings over 25 years rather than taking a reduced lump sum. This gave her a guaranteed income stream for the rest of her life, a perfect retirement plan that she certainly never expected when she walked in for breakfast that morning. Number 4. $25.1 million. The Venetian, Las Vegas. At number 4, we have a story that proves timing really is everything. Meet Robert Taylor, a 43-year-old high school teacher from Phoenix, Arizona, who turned a weekend getaway into the win of a lifetime. In September 2007, Robert and his wife Jennifer decided to take a short vacation to Las Vegas. They were celebrating their 15th wedding anniversary and had saved up about $500 for some gambling and entertainment. Robert wasn't a big gambler, maybe visiting Vegas once every couple of years, but he enjoyed the excitement of the slots. On their second night in town, they were staying at the Venetian, that stunning Italian-themed resort on the Las Vegas Strip with its indoor canals and gondola rides. After dinner, Jennifer wanted to see a show, but they had about an hour to kill before it started. Robert suggested they walk through the casino, and that's when he spotted a Megabucks machine near the entrance to the theater. He pulled out a $20 bill from his wallet and told Jennifer, "Let me try a few spins. Maybe Lady Luck is on our side this weekend." Now, Robert had played Megabucks before on previous trips to Vegas, so he knew the drill. $3 per spin, 3 reels, 1 pay line. Line up 3 Megabucks symbols and you win the progressive jackpot. He'd never won anything substantial before, maybe a few $100s here and there over the years, but nothing life-changing. He sat down and started playing. Jennifer stood beside him, chatting about which show they should see. Robert fed his 20 into the machine. That gave him just under 7 spins at $3 each. The first few spins were losers. Nothing. Then a couple of small wins that gave him a few credits back. He was down to his last spin, about to cash out his remaining credits, when Jennifer said, "Come on, one more spin? Do it for our anniversary." Robert smiled, pressed the spin button one last time, and that's when everything changed. 3 Megabucks symbols lined up perfectly across the center pay line. For a split second, nothing happened. Then the machine exploded with lights, sounds, and sirens. The screen flashed a number that seemed impossible to comprehend: $25,177,621. Robert sat there frozen, his mouth open, unable to speak. Jennifer screamed and started jumping up and down. Within seconds, casino security and staff rushed over. Other players abandoned their machines to see what the commotion was about. The entire casino floor seemed to stop and stare. Robert later told reporters, quote, "I thought the machine had malfunctioned. I looked at Jennifer and asked if she saw the same number I was seeing. When she nodded, I just started shaking. I couldn't believe it. We came here to celebrate our anniversary with $500. And now this?" Jennifer added, "We forgot all about the show. We forgot about everything. We just held each other and cried. It was the most surreal moment of our lives." The win made Robert the fourth largest megabucks winner at that time, and it made headlines across the country. A high school math teacher who spent his days teaching probability and statistics to teenagers had just beaten odds of 1 in 50 million. Here's what makes this story even more remarkable. Robert had spent only $20, just $20. That means he had played about 6 or 7 spins before hitting the jackpot on what was essentially his last spin. If he had walked away after the 5th spin, or if Jennifer hadn't encouraged him to try one more time, someone else would have won that $25 million. Like other megabucks winners, Robert chose to take the annuity option, receiving the money over 25 years. After taxes, he would receive roughly $600,000 per year, a massive upgrade from his $48,000 annual teacher's salary. When asked what he planned to do with the money, Robert kept it simple. "First, we're going to pay off our mortgage and our student loans. Then we're setting up college funds for our 2 kids. After that, we'll probably do some traveling. Jennifer has always wanted to see Europe, but honestly, I love teaching. I'm not quitting my job. Those kids need me, and I need them. The money is wonderful, but it doesn't change who we are." True to his word, Robert returned to his classroom that fall semester, though he did eventually reduce his hours to part-time a few years later. He and Jennifer still live in the same Phoenix neighborhood, though they did upgrade to a larger house. They donated generously to their local school district and set up a scholarship fund for students pursuing teaching careers. Robert's story became an inspiration to everyday working people everywhere. He proved that you don't need to be a high roller or spend thousands of dollars to win big. Sometimes all it takes is $20, a supportive spouse, and the willingness to take one more spin. This win at the Venetian remains one of the most talked about megabucks jackpots in Las Vegas history, not just for the massive amount, but for the relatable, down-to-earth couple who won it and stayed grounded despite their newfound wealth. Number 3. $27.6 million. Palace Station Casino, Las Vegas. Taking the bronze medal is a remarkable story from November 15th, 1998. A 67-year-old retired flight attendant who chose to remain anonymous was visiting Palace Station Casino in Las Vegas. She wasn't even planning to spend much time gambling that evening. In fact, she was just waiting for her dinner table to be ready, to kill some time. She decided to try her luck on a megabucks machine. She had set herself a budget of $100 for the evening. It was supposed to be casual entertainment while she waited. Well, $100 came and went with no luck. She put in another $100. Still nothing. By now, most people would walk away. But something told her to try one more time. She added a third $100 bill to the machine. And that's when it happened. 3 megabucks symbols lined up, and the machine erupted in lights and sounds. The jackpot? An absolutely staggering $27,582,539, nearly $28 million. At the time, this was a world record for the largest slot machine payout ever recorded. Let's put this in perspective. The odds of hitting the megabucks jackpot are estimated at about 1 in 50 million. That's significantly better than winning the Powerball or Mega Millions lottery, which is about 1 in 300 million. But it's still incredibly rare. For context, you're more likely to be struck by lightning in your lifetime than to hit this jackpot. But wait, this story gets even more incredible. This wasn't her first major win at Palace Station. Just a few months earlier, she had won $680,000 on a Wheel of Fortune slot machine at the same casino. Think about that. She won $680,000, a life-changing amount for most people. And then came back and won nearly $28 million more at the same location. Some people really do have all the luck. After her record-breaking win, she became known as one lucky lady around Las Vegas. The casino industry and gambling enthusiasts alike were amazed that someone could hit not one but 2 major jackpots in such a short time span. This win stood as the world record until 2003, when it would eventually be surpassed. But for those 5 years, this anonymous flight attendant held the title of the biggest slot machine winner in history. Number 2. $35 million. Desert Inn, Las Vegas. The silver medal in our countdown goes to a story that started with celebration but ended in tragedy. Cynthia J. Brennan was a 37-year-old cocktail waitress working at the Monte Carlo Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. She wasn't a big gambler. In fact, she was known as a careful, infrequent player who stuck to small budgets. On January 26, 2000, Cynthia and her boyfriend Terry Brennan went out to celebrate Terry's mother's birthday. Before leaving home that evening, Cynthia jokingly told her own mother, quote, "I'm going to win the megabucks tonight." Little did she know that this casual comment would come true. The group had originally planned to see a lounge show featuring Bob Anderson, but when they arrived, they discovered the show they wanted to see was sold out. So instead, they decided to try their luck at the nearby Desert Inn Hotel Casino. Cynthia walked up to a megabucks machine near the entrance. She had her usual budget of $21 to play with. 7 spins at $3 each. She put in her money and started playing. Nothing. She was down to her last few dollars and was about to walk away. Then she made a split-second decision that would change everything. She decided to put in one more $6. Just 2 more spins. Before calling it quits, on her 9th pull overall, 3 megabucks symbols appeared on the pay line. The lights flashed, the sirens blared, and Cynthia couldn't believe her eyes. She had just won $34,959,458, nearly $35 million. For a few seconds, there were no sounds, no sirens, nothing. Then everything exploded. Cynthia threw her arms in the air and collapsed back into her chair. It was the second largest megabucks jackpot ever won at that time, and it made headlines across the country. At first, everything was perfect. Cynthia and Terry got married less than 2 weeks later in a beautiful ceremony. They made plans to honeymoon somewhere tropical, start a family, and travel the world, Cynthia told reporters. Quote, "The people I had in my life last week are going to be the people in my life next week. This won't change who I am." She and Terry quit their jobs and started meeting with financial advisors and accountants. They took care of their families financially, but hadn't even begun spending on themselves yet. They had only been married for 5 weeks when everything changed. But then, just 6 weeks after her incredible win, tragedy struck. On March 11, 2000, Cynthia and her sister Layla were out with family members. They were driving to another casino when they stopped at a red light at the intersection of Indios Avenue and Boulder Highway. Cynthia later recalled, quote, "The last thing I remember was telling Layla how happy I was. That's the last thing I remember." A Ford Explorer, driven by 57-year-old Clark Morse, slammed into the back of Cynthia's 1999 Chevrolet Camaro at full speed. The impact was so violent that it pushed her car into 3 other vehicles waiting at the light. Cynthia's sister, Layla Sue J., age 45, died at the scene from a broken neck. Cynthia survived, but the 5th vertebra in her spine was completely shattered. She was paralyzed from her upper chest down, losing the use of her legs and most of her body. Clark Morse, the driver who caused the accident, had 16 prior arrests for drunk driving, 16, and incredibly, he had never spent significant time in jail for any of them. This case became the catalyst for revising DUI laws in Nevada. Morse fled the scene after the crash, but was arrested at his home just 5 or 6 blocks away. Tests showed his blood alcohol level was 0.24, 3 times the legal limit. He was eventually convicted and sentenced to 28 to 92 years in prison. Cynthia spent 10 days in a Las Vegas hospital, then 4 months at Craig Rehabilitation Hospital in Denver, one of the best spinal cord injury facilities in the world. Screws were drilled into her skull to hold weights that would help stabilize her spinal cord. Her weakened body was ravaged by infections. Doctors told her she would never walk again. "Get used to your wheelchair," they said, but Cynthia refused to give up hope. "I don't believe it," she insisted. "There's always a chance." Today, she lives with her husband Terry, who stayed by her side through everything. He cooks, cleans, does the dishes, handles the mail, and wakes up 3 to 5 times every night to help her with her needs, adjusting her position, covering her when she's cold, removing covers when she's hot. In interviews after the accident, Cynthia said something that haunts everyone who hears this story. Quote, "If I could give the money back to have my sister and my health again, I would," she added. "Sometimes I think that maybe megabucks came to help me with this thing that came next. Maybe there's a reason for me being like this." The money she won did help pay for her extensive medical care. therapy and the round-the-clock assistance she needs. But as she herself said, no amount of money can replace what she lost. Cynthia's story became part of Las Vegas lore and even fueled urban legends about a megabucks curse, the myth that big jackpot winners are doomed to tragedy. While there's no truth to any curse, Cynthia's story remains a powerful reminder that money truly isn't everything. Number 1. $39.7 million. Excalibur Casino, Las Vegas. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for, the biggest slot machine win in history, a record that still stands today, more than 20 years later. On March 21, 2003, a 25-year-old software engineer from Los Angeles came to Las Vegas for March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournament. He was there to watch games with friends and visit family. His uncle was staying at the Excalibur Hotel and Casino, that iconic castle-themed resort on the Las Vegas Strip. The young man, who chose to remain completely anonymous to this day, wasn't much of a gambler, but his uncle made a suggestion. "Why don't you try the megabucks machine? The jackpot is getting pretty high." It seemed like harmless fun, so the software engineer sat down at a megabucks machine and started playing. He played for a relatively short time, feeding bills into the machine here and there. After spending just $100, that's 33 spins at $3 each, something extraordinary happened. 3 megabucks eagles lined up perfectly on the pay line. The machine locked up, lights flashed, sirens wailed, casino staff rushed over, and there on the screen was a number that seemed impossible: $39,713,982.25. $39,713,982.25, the largest slot machine jackpot ever won, certified by the Guinness Book of World Records, a record that has never been broken. Think about what this means. This 25-year-old spent $100 and won nearly $40 million. That's a return of 397,000 to 1 on his investment. It's the kind of win that happens once in a generation, or maybe once in a lifetime for the entire gambling industry. The winner chose to remain anonymous, which is probably wise given the attention he would have received. He also chose to take his winnings as an annuity, $1.5 million per year for 25 years, rather than a reduced lump sum payment after taxes. Because yes, Uncle Sam wants his cut. The winner likely kept about 60% of the stated amount. But even after federal and state taxes, that's still millions of dollars per year for 25 years. Because the winner stayed anonymous. We don't know much about what happened to him afterward. Rumors circulated wildly in the years following his win. Some claimed he had died in various tragic ways. From overdosing at a casino to dying in a plane crash or a gang shooting in Los Angeles. But according to IGT, the company that makes megabucks, these were all completely false. The winner is alive and well, living a private life away from the spotlight. The rumors are just that, rumors, similar to the urban legends about a megabucks curse that plagued several winners. In fact, according to a 2000 report, only one megabucks winner had died at that point in the game's 15-year history, and that person lived for many years after winning. This record-breaking win remains the holy grail of slot machine gambling. Every player who sits down at a megabucks machine dreams of replicating this incredible moment, but the odds remain astronomical, about 1 in 50 million per spin, since the megabucks system launched in 1986. The jackpot has been won by approximately 1,000 people over nearly 40 years. On average, it's won only 1 to 3 times per year. In 2016, there was just one winner. In 2000, there were 6. The jackpot is unpredictable, which is exactly what makes it so thrilling. Currently, there are about 750 to 800 megabucks machines operating in roughly 140 to 150 casinos across Nevada. Every single one is connected to the same progressive jackpot, which resets to $10 million every time someone wins. Yes, you read that right. The starting jackpot is $10 million. When someone wins, IGT's central system immediately resets the jackpot on every megabucks machine in the state back to that $10 million base, and it starts climbing again from there. Before we wrap up, I have to tell you about one more incredible megabucks story that didn't make our top 5 but deserves to be mentioned. Elmer Sherwin, the man who won megabucks twice. Elmer was a 76-year-old World War II veteran when he won his first megabucks jackpot on November 22, 1989, the opening night of the Mirage Casino. He won $4.6 million, which was the largest slot jackpot in Las Vegas history at that time. Most people would be satisfied with that. But not Elmer. He told people it was his life's dream to win megabucks a second time. Everyone thought he was crazy. After all, the odds of hitting it once are 1 in 50 million. The odds of hitting it twice? About 1 in 2.4 quadrillion. But Elmer kept playing. For 16 years. He kept trying. Then, on September 15, 2005, at the age of 92, Elmer sat down at a megabucks machine at the Cannery Casino in North Las Vegas. And incredibly, impossibly, he did it again. He won $21.1 million. Elmer Sherwin became the first and only person to ever win the megabucks jackpot twice. He used much of his winnings to help victims of Hurricane Katrina and to support his family. He passed away in 2007 at the age of 94, forever cemented in gambling history as the luckiest man alive.